Hello, welcome back. If you're here and you're back, if you're not here and you're not returning, then you're not welcome. I'm kidding. I don't know why I said that. That was a real jerk thing to say. We are on, well, it says episode 2. Really, this is the third session because we had a session 0, but we're on episode 2 of the Mists of War, which is a Highcaster playtest, public playtest. So you're getting to see beta rules. I guess we can call it beta. I'm not sure how I feel about that. If I were smart, I'd call it alpha. But these are basically the rules that I'm expecting to go into production with. So we'll see how it goes. I'm Chris. I'm the creator of the game. And let's go and introduce everybody else. Do you want to start, Lydia?
Sure. I was smart and did not have a bite of my kebab, so I'm very proud of myself here. I'm Lydia. This is the level of intelligence you can expect from me throughout the whole session.
Nice.
It's my day off. Nothing makes sense. I'm playing Vicky today, who is the bestest cinnamon roll owl person ever to grace the land of Staraborn, and I'm very much looking forward to figuring more out about our character dynamic, which I think we've kind of shown last session where it's going and how beautifully annoying Vicky is going to be and adorable at it, and I can't wait to see how it all comes together. Really,
I wouldn't say annoying.
a little bit.
I think necessary.
Like a little cute puppy that constantly eats your shoes. Can't really be mad at her, but that's the plan anyway.
Awesome. And then who's playing Stein? Do you want to go
Hi,
next?
I am Rex. I'll be playing Stein, who is a Holt, a immortal descendant of the creator gods. They are really fun and interesting. I enjoyed seeing their dynamics with the other player characters. And Stein does not find Vicky annoying. Stein finds her very amusing, even when she perches on their shoulders and looks over their head at them upside down. So it's very endearing. But yeah, Stein is pretty cool. I really like this game, and I'm excited to keep playing and exploring it.
Awesome. All right. And then I'm going to get the character name wrong again, but let's try it. Spencer Lanaton?
Close enough. But yeah.
Well, now's the time to correct me.
Yeah. I think that was kind of what we decided on it. I think
Okay.
Lanaton, I think is what we said.
Lanaton. All right.
Yeah. I am Spencer. I'm playing Lanaton, who is the not necessarily grumpy mage, but the mage of this party and the human. He finds Bicky to be a lot, not necessarily annoying, but a lot. So yeah, I'm excited to continue with this character a bit and see where this story ends up going.
I like how this is all about Vicky.
Yeah, I was about to say the same. Everyone's like, so.
Now Danielle, does Midnight Star find Vicky annoying?
I had glitter in my hide, so this is a thing that happened. I am playing Midnight Star, who is an equine, which is basically a unicorn. I am a warrior unicorn with telekinesis and a very noble and dignified manner. Or he tries to, even when he has glitter in his mane and fur and hide. And he has 2 mischievous colts back home, but he is setting out at the request because they are the 4 apparently, which is, I don't know whether to feel bad or sad, or I mean, we're the 4, like we're the best for us to offer, but okay. So yeah, we're going to figure out what's happening with these spirits and stuff. So Midnight Star is eager to protect everybody while we figure out what's going on with these spirits and stuff. And we had just fought a Sobek, which are gator-like creatures.
It was not ripped off from Earth mythology at all. Just a coincidence. Right. So you made choices. As a quick recap, you chose to go beneath the surface to find your way through. There was news from a Rishan emissary that apparently there are spirits on the borders and the marches of the area. And these spirits are sort of forcing them to move trade into the Hydoni territories, which is causing political trouble. So the Kimka has sent you, the region's monarch has sent you to go find out what's going on so that we could keep good relations with the Rishan. As you went through what is pretty much a temperate rainforest, very thick, lush, on soft soil, you found a point where you would need to go either around a major cave system or through it, and you decided to go through it. So now you are in a cave system which is infested with these crocodilian monsters. You've reached a point in the cave system where this is one of those systems like you see in Mexico where the soil is so soft and there's so much rain it kind of carves out these massive cave networks underneath the surface. And the surface then is very fragile. And sometimes you will reach an area where there's just a big hole in the ground that goes several hundred feet down. And that's sort of where you are. Now you've kind of passed through a lot of the hole in the ground areas, and now you're just like deep in a cave. This cave is filled with water, probably decades of rainwater collected in this natural environment. And you kind of reached a point where you are going into what looks like a vast dark space that doesn't really seem to have much of an end. I think at least Vicky, I know, can probably Stein can see in the dark. So, you don't really see where the ambient light ends. So it's just this vast, dark, black, oily sea ahead of you. So you're confronted with another choice. Do you continue to cross this and try to get out of this cave network, or do you go back the way you came through this big nest of crocodilian monsters? I think it's Stein that sort of knows the region really well, right? So Stein, you would know that this is a way through, and it probably is a quicker way because you're not going to have to deal with the mountainous region above. You're not going to have to deal with falling into the cave somewhere on accident. And this means that you'll probably break out over past the mountain range and get closer to your goal. So this is the most quick way through. It's definitely not the safest. And you could just double back and go back out and go around this whole network if you wanted to. So that's where you are, and this is a point where you'll need to make more decisions. And I'm not going to judge those decisions. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to just tell you what happens as a result of what you do. I'm an impartial player.
So
As I like to say, I don't.
fault.
As I like to say, I don't control the game. I just run it.
Yeah, the game does what it does. You do what you do. I observe and I tell you what happens.
I mean, I will judge us, but
Let's see. Well, Bicky can fly. They could just fly across.
Midnight
is
kind
the
of
cave?
Yeah.
Sorry, is the cave big enough that Bicky could fly, or?
Definitely. I mean, you really don't see, with the ambient light available, you really don't see an end to this cave or a height.
And
I mean,
it's high.
yeah, it's.
Oh, I'm already up there then.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see how far it goes. I'll be right back, or not. Maybe I die.
Be
Bye.
careful.
You probably shouldn't go by yourself, and she's gone.
Yeah. And then it's like, be careful.
Well, what's interesting about your flight is that you just sort of left an area of this cave network that was pretty close to the surface because the ceiling had caved in, and but you're flying pretty high at this point, and so you kind of you figure out through your flight that you must be in a pretty large mountain peak. Since you know the area, you probably know the mountain that you're in, and this cave network is just absolutely huge. You probably can go a good 100 feet before you reach the surface of the cave.
Are there any entrances, exits, hole in the ceiling? And more importantly, are there any shiny things?
You can see a lot of darkness. So if there are any of those things, you can't see them without doing some more thorough exploration.
Hello, Echo. Echo. Echo.
Hello.
Ah!
Comes back from the darkness. Very low, very friendly voice, but a big one. You all hear that hello. You didn't hear Bigby's. Or Bicky's, sorry. You didn't hear Bicky's, but you heard the deep voice from deep in the darkness say hello in a gentle way.
You
Hello.
might hear her scream as she half tumbles down and then catches herself.
Hi.
You hear sniffing.
How are you?
Who are you? The voice is speaking your tongue, which is, I guess, helpful.
We are folks trying to get through the caves safely to the other side so we don't have to climb the mountains.
Did you slaughter my children?
Who are they?
No.
They live here. I don't hear them.
We slaughter anyone recently other than
I believe we encountered one of your children, but we didn't slaughter them, no.
Are they the big crocodile thingies?
By your eyes, yes, they would be.
You need to teach them manners.
You feel kind of a gust of wind coming from inside the cave. Sudden gust, and then another gust, and then you hear kind of a distant thud. It's almost like something with extremely giant wings flew a few steps and then landed somewhere.
Oh, Bicky is back down and hiding behind Stein.
Is there a
we
way
did
to
it.
tell what direction it came from?
Ahead of you in the darkness, but specifically, you might need to, I don't know, you might need to do something in order to get more information.
Oh boy. I can't see shit. I'll just tap a couple different runes on my compass and just kind of make a light from the crystal that's on my head. See if I can get any. I know it's basically torchlight, but it's better than not seeing it all. So
Also, quickly out of character, did we actually kill the Sobek? I don't think
Yeah,
so. I
you
think
drove.
and I
so the
thought I
dragon-
blew that thing's fucking head off.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
we did. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it was a spectacular, gory mess. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
You ever seen the movie Scanners 2? Yeah, that.
Whoops.
Oh.
Define slaughter.
Or like Starship Troopers, whenever they shove the grenade in the one bug's head and just.
Oh man.
Or for
I
us
mean,
older
it
people,
attacked
Jaws.
us, okay, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did encounter one of them. I think they got scared off.
No, but you're lying to this disembodied ghost.
I mean, yeah.
So, disembodied
I'll-
ghost, this disembodied voice.
Oh no.
Okay. So why? Why are you lying? Are you trying to protect yourself?
I think that's exactly the case. We don't know what this fucking thing is.
I mean, we probably should be honest, but also, who knows what it can do? But yeah, we just lied to it, so
Yeah.
kind of can't.
I think it
Take
is
that
to
back.
protect ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't have the list of moves in here. I guess I'm unprepared. But let's do a prestige roll.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
think this is Laniton doing the roll, but it sounds like Stein is helping. So
Cool.
in an assist, what that means is Stein, you give him your humor die. So this is your prestige die. What is it?
I have a D4.
All right. So
Okay.
you get a D4 plus your prestige die.
Would my bureaucrat talent come into play
Yes,
here?
it would. It would. So you
Okay,
can add
cool.
a D6 to the pool. You're
All
confronting
attention is
disembodied voice.
Yeah. You know.
Is there a
Let's
discipline you want to use?
A discipline? Nah. We'll just go. And we roll the talent die first or the actual D20 first?
So you roll the talent, the humor,
Okay.
Stein's humor, and then take the highest number and add that to a D20 roll. So you can roll it all at once if you want.
Okay, that's good. I got a 6 on the D6. Not so great. That's a 7 on the D20. So a total of 13.
13 is better than 9, which is, bad.
Yay!
So, okay. So there's a long pause, and you hear water, like it's like somebody walking through water, but this somebody must be very large. It's like if ships were walking through water.
Oh boy.
And this sorry about the dog. He has opinions. This eye appears in the halo of light from your compass.
How big's the eye?
The eye is like, well, no, this isn't doing justice. Let's say it's about 4 feet in diameter.
Oh, fuck. All right, yep.
And this sort of scaly wall. The eye blinks, and there's like a gust of wind from the blink.
Mm-hmm.
It disappears back into the darkness a bit. Although Biggie and Stein, you can see an amorphous, very large creature just blocking the darkness behind it. You can't really see details.
Very big Jurassic Park vibes.
Right. And then the gentle voice, now very close, says, I understand that you had to kill it. You do not understand why you felt the need to lie. We aren't on a good standing here, but I won't destroy you.
Yep. Understood. Understood.
We could be out of your scaly hair in like 10 minutes if we can cross through. Please?
There's silence.
Apologies for the lying. It was a foolish mistake.
And you're really scary. So that's
I
fine.
remember, I think I also 100% took some kind of trophy from that thing too, so
Don't tell him that. Don't.
I'm
Maybe let's
not,
cut
I'm
that out.
not.
You could just withhold information, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is one stage of this thread is resolved. You now can see sort of the disembodied voice in front of you. But there's still this thing in front of you. Now, Vicky, you've gently asked, we can just get through. So,
I said please.
You did say please.
I don't know. There are 2 things on my mind. One, I do not know if you can be trusted. After all, you did just lie. The other thing on my mind is I'm not sure that you at all know where you are going. since you ended up here. If I
Well, I
let
mean-
you through, who is to say you will find your way out?
I mean, we know where we're going. Where I turned to Stein and just asked, it's like, this was supposed to be a shortcut, right?
Yes, it's much better than climbing mountains, and these cave systems have many openings.
Mr. Scaly Person,
It's
what's
not
your
the
name?
first time I've gone through caves to go around things. I'm fairly familiar with these areas, though I haven't been in this specific cave.
I am Sutek. I am from the old times. What
I
is
am
your
Stein.
name? I did not ask you for your name.
I am
You are a
Vicky.
liar, and I do not trust you. Say again, little one.
Sorry. I am Vicky, and I am from. Do you know Staraborn Big Tree Place?
Yes, yes, I do. I once
That's where
lorded
we're all
over
from.
them.
Okay, with the name and that, is
Yeah.
there some information I can get from that?
Yeah, I think there's going to be basic level information you'll know right away. But if you want to go deeper, we can confront a threat.
Always.
So the threat is still in place. It's just staged up. So we have the disembodied voice, who we know is Sutek. So you can roll against that. See what happens.
Okay, what do I roll? What do I roll?
I mean, you'll get information one way or another just because you know lore.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, long history, talent die when using lore to confront a threat. I should get that. What's my talent die again? What?
the talent die is just a d6.
So, D6.
And I'm trying to think. I guess this is. I think this is prestige.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find my list of moves.
That's my D8, so that's good. Do the disciplines apply here?
You can choose to, if they do, you can choose to
Yeah.
use one of those dice.
Yeah, recount a legend, poem, or historical fact that will assist in the situation.
Yeah. So that means you
Okay.
can use a d4, d6, or d8. Now, if you use one, you can't recoup them until you get some rest.
I already used that.
But you should have at least
I
a
o-
couple more,
I
right?
used a D, so I'm going the D4 for this one, I think. It old. It's an 8 on the D20, a 5 on the D6, so I will use that one. 13 again.
Okay. All right. So at the surface level, there's a legend of Sutek, who was a evil demon cast out of the realm, and it's back in the legends.
Mm-hmm.
But you happen to have studied a lot more on this, and it turns out that he was a dragon that did rule long time ago, like 1,000 years ago or more. So long before the fall of the stars. And he took over the entire region and ruled by force before the first Kemka cast him out. And that's what started the government you're in now. So he's considered the biggest rival of the entire region, but they thought he was cast out, and yeah. There was something else I wanted to add. Let me think. It was
My God.
that the records were sort of buried. The Kemka regimes did not want everybody to know that there was a dragon that once took control of their entire kingdom.
You are so cool. You're Sutik. That's the dragon. Did you ever hear about the evil dragon that we had to cast out and defeated and everyone was happy? Sorry, it's not personal. It's just how they write history books where we come from. But you're so cool. That one battle where you almost got the tree down and it's probably not something you like to be reminded of. But I really, really enjoyed that story when I was a little fledgling. I may have made it worse.
You know me?
Yeah. I used to draw you. It wasn't. You looked a bit like a pony with wings, but I used to draw you uh, when I was a kid, and I had my whole room full of the paintings that I tried to copy from the books, and it's very much an honor to meet you. I would have prepared a better speech if I had time. I didn't realize you were Beaky isn't a full avalanche of fawning. I didn't realize you never went away. Why did you never go away? I thought you were cast out, like exiled. I thought that automatically meant you had to go super far away from the tree, but you're totally here, and that's not very far away at all. Do you want to come over for tea?
I thought that had been forgotten.
They tried, but my family likes to look at old books and likes to tell stories, and I always told your story.
I never
My little
left
sister still
because
cries when she thinks of you.
your sister cries when she thinks of me.
I made you a little bit much more scarier than necessary, but sorry, I interrupted. You go.
I never left because I always thought they would ask me to return.
I thought you were not simpatico.
I allowed Stairborn to rule themselves. And I waited as a counselor, but nobody ever came.
Okay, that is brand new information, and I'm here for it. And she starts writing it all down. So when did that happen? Who was the person that you allowed to self-rule? And was there a contract? Do you have paperwork from that I could look into? Did you keep a diary?
The knight just kneels down onto the ground, like just lowers himself down to the ground, like we're not going anywhere for a while.
I do not wish to speak of it.
Oh.
Even after the
memories.
fall, I have found a place here. I can sit with all of my memories. I can review them one-on-one at my leisure. If I am needed, I will come.
Yeah, but if you're like not evil, that would then totally mean that we could chat. We could.
What is evil?
Oh, like when you go kill people for no reason, for example. Like when you kill them for a reason, it's still not great. But sometimes that's mitigating circumstances, like what we did with your. Never mind. It's it's when you're like trying to be and people are like and
Big Key, I know what evil is. I want to know if you know what evil is.
well, I've never been it, I think.
I mean,
Am I evil?
Evil's a bit
I
of
don't
a
think so.
evil's a bit of a spectrum. If you ask me personally.
Matter
Depends
of
on-
opinion.
Depends on point of view, how you were raised, where you're raised.
I think we can all agree that killing people for no good reason is really evil, though.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
but for
been
some-
many cultures over the last several thousand years that have various definitions of evil. Some would call each other evil.
Hence the spectrum, but I'm sorry, you were asking her, so Lanathan just sort of shuts up.
There's some wrestling in the water, and the form is getting smaller as he's going back into the darkness. You may pass through, but watch your step.
Evil?
No, Vicky. I'm not evil.
That was a really solid last line to end on. I'm gonna write that down.
And Head Start gets up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Vicky
Um,
writes the story, but also writes herself a little reminder of come back here with tea and cookies and find out more.
Lots and
Mhm.
lots of cookies.
I
Lots of cookies. That's so big like cookies? Question mark. Find out about cookies. Do you like cookies? See, if he
Quiet.
keeps with the cool thing, he wouldn't respond at this
Yeah,
point.
he's too quiet.
I mean, if you decide to come back, I'll help you make some.
Not evil cookies.
No, not evil cookies. We're not. We're
That
not
means
putting.
no raisins.
I was just about to say that. But Stein wouldn't have any reference. They don't eat cookies. They don't eat at all.
You can have
Just like-
pebbles.
You can't put black licorice in it either.
I love it.
Oh,
No,
I like licorice, but that
I
sounds
do.
horrible.
I like black licorice.
And cookies. Okay.
But
Did
if
you
it-
make those Annie's cookies? Okay, we're off topic.
I mean, I'll look to midnight. I'm not sure if that was midnight's. That was in character, or out of character, Danielle. But either way, you're wrong. Black licorice. Oh
I
god.
do, no, actually, I do like black licorice.
I love that licorice.
Midnight Stars.
Oh, god. Anyways, we're off topic.
Yeah.
We would probably move on while having this exact conversation.
Yeah.
Midnight Star's just like, what's wrong with black licorice?
Good and plenty. Awful candy. Next scene.
Hold on, I totally messed up the window.
No.
I know better than to change my zoom size midstream. But I was trying to look at something. In my defense. Sorry, all you viewers, as we deal with technology.
I actually have my pomegranate, but I also have a black licorice one that tastes like black licorice.
I like all of it. I like the fennel. I like the anise. I like.
Me too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Anise is really good to add to mulled wine as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
soup.
but I have that gene that makes cilantro taste like soap, so I don't like cilantro.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of fixed the window.
I never understood why people were going off about it until I found out about the gym. Like, why are you guys eating this? And they'd be like, oh, cilantro's so great. It's so fresh. And I'm like, it's dial. It's like Irish Spring.
Okay, I have kind of fixed the window. I will have to fix that later. Anyway, sorry about that. I was pulling up Evernote because I needed to see what was next. And that means I need more screens. Okay, Here we go. So, you now have open passage through this cave, this massive mountain-sized cave that apparently has an ancient dragon in there. Through some wit and cunning, I guess, an authentic
And charm.
charm, yeah. The dragon is not going to destroy you, so that's great. Good times. What do you do
Thank
now?
you, Becky. Yeah, the one to get it to the one to talk us past the dragon is the owl. I love it. It's so good.
Oh yeah, he could have been pretty dangerous, huh?
So yeah, I guess we're moving on through the darkness. Those
At
who
least-
can't see through it probably should hold on to like stunt like a belt loop. Like you do with your parents as a kid, you know, when you're going through crowds, like hold on to my belt loop. Like Stein has Lanaton do that.
Midnight Star is not like
hey,
sticking his
excuse
sword
you.
through
I
it.
have magic. I have a torchlight. I'm
Oh, that's
fine.
right.
Yeah. Midnight can use Lanaton's torch as well. Probably see a little bit. At least see where he is.
What are you going to do about the fact that it's getting deeper and deeper? Because, you know, it is a basin of water.
The water's getting deeper.
Yeah.
Swim?
Stein just walks along the bottom.
That's true. You don't.
Oh, no.
You won't float and you don't breathe. So
I'll I'll use magic. So I can.
Oh, great!
So
I'm
I
the
can
only
just.
one who can't fly over it
So-
or anything. Midnight
so I
Star just
can-
there paddling.
So I can walk on water like everyone's favorite person. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Anyways,
All
I'll
right.
just.
I don't think that you need a roll for that because it's not like treacherous water or anything.
Cool.
I can't see that this is threatening, really. This is just your version of swimming. And Vicky doesn't have to roll for, like, flying.
Yeah.
So, and so Midnight Star, you are the dog paddling unicorn?
I guess. I suppose I could telekinesis something to help me.
I just need the visual here. I'm not looking for a conflict. I just kind of
Nah.
want to picture it in my head.
All right, yeah. The unicorn's dog paddling. He's not gonna waste telekinesis to not get wet. So he's just dog paddling. Like, you've seen horses go through water.
They're actually pretty good swimmers.
Yeah, it's all fine and dandy until you really get a good picture of how vast this cavern is. And so it's getting harder and harder for Midnight Star and Lanaton to proceed. The magic's going to only hold you up for so long, and Midnight Star's strength is only going to last so long. It seems like you're crossing an ocean.
Okay. I thought it was a little bit smaller than that. Whoops.
Yeah, well, you couldn't tell. I mean, it's just too dark.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'm putting a conflict on here called vastness.
Ooh.
So now, what are you going to do? I think it's up to Stein and Vicky if you know that there's a struggle. You might just be able to deduce that this is really far. And my companions might be having trouble. But Midnight Star and Lana, then you are...
How deep is it where we are, where they start struggling? Because I'm sure Stein is below, keeping an eye on them, or at least can hear them, like, paddling. So if he starts hearing Midnight Star slow down, he would probably be like, oh, yeah, they're tired, and this is really far.
It's probably about 30 feet deep. So
Okay.
it's, it's not like an ocean, but it is deep.
Can Stein make a column of stone to go up to give them a place to rest?
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. That's it's not even going to require a roll. It's just something you can do.
So yeah, y'all see, like, before you, while you're starting to get tired, there's just like a sudden column of stone that's just large enough for two people and or a person and a horse to stand on.
Sweet.
Just kind of get just out of the water.
Sweet. Midnight Star gratefully clops up onto the slab.
That's nice. Nice to do like the shake to get the mammal shake.
Mane. Yeah. Tail.
Lanaton will step up onto it and just sort of shakes off his feet.
Just before Midnight Star does, so he gets wet again. Midnight Star's a big horse.
Well, that's paused the problem, but you haven't resolved it.
Yeah.
So what?
Well, at least this gives us time to
Yeah.
try to figure out where to go from here.
Stein's head pops out of the water right next to the edge.
Jesus.
You all right?
Yeah.
This is really big.
Yeah. Figured
Can we
that.
see an end at this point?
No. Vicky, you're pretty high. I mean, distance-wise. And just to clarify. So,
Not legal here, so I'm not.
no. You can't, even from your vantage point, see an end to this thing.
Vicky
It's almost
turns
like it
around.
was carved out by a giant dragon.
Almost.
Vicky turns around and lands on the column of stone where people are congregating. She's still quite happy and quite unspent when it comes to energy and flying. So I didn't find an exit just yet. So how are you?
It's a little tiring. Long swim.
I wish I could
Think-
say magic solves everything, but it does get exhausting to use continuously sometimes.
I can keep looking, but it's big. When you look up, it's like you can see the claw marks in the stone. Big claw marks.
Mm. Could you see any end?
No,
From
yeah,
up
I
there?
can keep flying. I'm just wondering, where does it go? Like, are we still in the right direction? Are we still on track?
Hmm.
Where are we
Look at
going again?
Stein. Like, you're the one that knew
Man.
where we were going.
I think we are. Do I need to roll to see if we are?
Yeah, this would be a roll because you're confronting vastness, right?
Okay.
And in terms of your discipline, there is a move for this. But
Yeah, I
since
do
I've
have.
moved around, I don't remember. Courage?
Okay, so be a courage roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then whatever else you can add to the modifier pool.
Well, would march in the discipline of journeys know and understand how to get through an environment? Would that work as well?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. So that would be. Which one did I use last time? I think I already used my D8, so I think it's a D6. So courage is a D6, and then D6 for that and that. So I rolled a 3 and a 6. So with a 12, that's an 18, right? Because I
Good roll.
take the higher of the two.
Yeah. Yep, that's
Okay.
right. Okay. So now that you know what the topography looks like outside. This is, probably a 12,000 foot mountain range that you're in. So it's a good bet that you've got a good 10, 20 miles of this, depending on how much the dragon dug out. So obviously swimming isn't going to be an option. You kind of know generally you're going the right direction. Like you could potentially use your abilities or help Lanadan using his magic to get across somehow and know that you're landing in the right spot. Your concern though is that there's a series of canyons around here, so you could potentially just break out into the middle of a canyon. You don't really know where exactly it'll end up, but it'll be on the right side of the range, so that's good.
What would the limits like? I assume it's not something that Stein can just do forever and however they want. But if Lanaton maybe could somehow boost Stein's Earthen Touch, who maybe like give them extra energy to manipulate it for longer than normal, because I'm sure it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, and the limits are based on what happens with the die. So I'm going to say that, yeah, it's pushing you beyond what you are normally capable of doing. So then you're going to confront this. Now we took vastness is what I would call a one-stage threat. It's just a big space. So you've already subdued that. You know how big it is, how far it takes to get across. So to go after vastness again, this is when we get into the fun parts of the system, because the reason we put threats out on the table is to show you what you've done narratively. So since you've resolved vastness, that means then I'm going to need to escalate the situation for you to resolve it again.
Okay.
And that means if I do, I'll give you favor you could spend later on other things. However, if you don't want me to escalate it and you just want to be able to do it, then you can spend favor and go after vastness again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want to do? Do you want me to escalate it?
Oh, what do y'all think?
I mean, escalating it sounds fun.
You get favor. Favor can be spent to add another die to your modifier pool. It can be spent, as you know, to confront a conflict or a threat that you've already confronted. And it could be spent also to, what's the third thing? Oh, introduce a truth. So you can introduce a truth about the setting, anything that you want. So it's a very valuable currency.
Go for it, I would say.
Yeah, let's do it.
Escalate it.
And you all have one favor for showing up today, so this isn't your
Yeah.
first. Okay, so I will give you a favor. And I need to escalate it. So let me think. I said all that without an escalation in mind. So here we go.
Happens.
Happens to the best of us. So you have probably another 10 miles to get across this thing. And you think that with some effort, you can probably you're thinking about using your earthen touch to basically create a bridge. Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah.
And you're going to probably need Landon's help to help fuel that, maybe. Right. The challenge here is that you now realize you're being watched by that big giant dragon. You can see his shape in the darkness. And you don't see, he doesn't get in close, but you can hear him say, kind of almost to himself, "What are they building in my domain?" And then it's quiet, and he's observing. And it kind of is at a profile, and you can see the massive head that's on this dragon. It's huge. Obviously.
It's like when you walk down the street and you see someone reverse parking in the worst and most incompetent possible way, and you just stand and watch for a bit to go,
What do they do?
WTF.
or watch it out the window of your flat. And you're like, what? Okay, I'm gonna see
All right, so
whether
there's a
an-
very definite risk that you might piss off Sutek by building bridges in his domain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
ask.
probably what? Huh?
We can always ask.
Ask what? He says.
Is it okay if we built this?
We can always
we did
remove it.
Hey, Sutek, we saw you. You don't need to hide. You're very big. You can't really hide. But we saw this, and we're sorry. We didn't consider that.
Build what?
Just a
bridge.
temporary stone bridge for us to walk across through the water.
You want to build a bridge across my cave?
Well, we'll remove it as we go. It'll be more like a moving
Too big
platform.
for us to swim across.
This was a choice you made.
Yeah.
I mean, in our defense, we never said how we were going to get across this.
Landon.
I'm not
We're
wrong.
not helping.
To be fair, I can make the platform that we're sitting on kind of move across the bottom like a liquid at the base and have it just kind of scooch along, and then I'll remove it. It'll be less a bridge and more of a moving platform.
Well, let's hope you don't screw it up. Go ahead and roll your.
Oh boy.
Okay. I will need
we
Landon.
help?
Yeah, I'll
we
need
help?
Yeah,
some
to explain how you
How
can
can we
help.
help?
Anybody that helps can hand him whatever your humor die is for this, which I need to decide what that is. This would be. And the reason you want to do it is because I think this is to navigate others. Like you're trying to convince them that you're not going to screw up the cave by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So
We'll leave it as we found it.
So this is a prestige roll. So if you assist, tell me how it makes sense narratively, and then you can hand him your prestige die.
Yeah. Let me think here.
And Stein says out loud to Sutek, I am very familiar with shaping and creating large caverns and complex stone constructs. It would just take a lot more energy to do this in a short amount of time, but I assure you I will leave it as I see it, as it was supposed to be.
And Midnight Star's just gonna add, we don't want to come in and mess up your domain. We just
I
want to
wouldn't want
make it
anyone
to the
coming
other
into my
side.
cave.
All right.
So he's gonna add his honorable to that.
Yep.
Kind of try to give his word. They'll do their best not to.
What's your prestige
Do our
die?
best not to. Yeah, I have 6.
All right. So you get a D6 from Midnight Star.
Okay.
I think Lanaton would help. Not by speaking. Speaking hasn't gotten very
Please
far.
stop.
Please stop.
He's the bureaucrat, guys. He's totally good at this. He'd probably just use his magic to sort of. Oh man, coming with good descriptors of magic is hard.
Well, this is a
So
prestige
essentially
roll.
more-
It's a prestige roll, so you have to look at
Ooh.
what the prestige is. That's why it's hard. Like not everybody can help.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't actually tried to do the action yet. We're trying to assure Sutek we're not going to mess his
cave
pad
up, so
up,
he won't
yeah.
like destroy us while we're trying to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Never mind. No, Lanaton's not helping. Speaking hasn't helped so much.
He's
so
helping
far.
by keeping silent.
Yeah.
Standing by.
Vicky is helping by trying to convince Sutek that Stein knows their stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and he
tell
trusts you.
stories of times where they used their ability to save everyone's butts. And my prestige is D8.
Wow. That's a good one. Okay. So you've got a good pool already. Are you going to add a discipline and talent or anything?
I mean, I have my heritage ability, but that's just an action. I'm not doing that yet. But no, I think that's good. I get what, a D8, a D6 on top of my D20,
Yeah, and then your prestige too.
which is a D4.
Yeah.
Okay, so my D20 is a 10.
Good.
My D6 is a 6. My D8's a 7. So the highest I have is a 17.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Midnight Star, for being a lot more, or Bicky for the 8, I think, right?
Yeah, Vicky
Yes.
got the
Yeah, Vicky
A
had the
D8.
D8. I had a D6.
And I got a D6 on that, so that was a very close, almost, yeah.
Oh.
So 17. So it would have been a
Folks, that was
17
our-
or a 16.
That was our first assist. Yay. Well, maybe not. There's a heavy sigh coming from the dragon of the darkness. I will allow it, but I'm not comfortable, and I don't want you back here. You all make me far too nervous. No tea. I'm sorry, Big Key.
It's fair, and thank you.
Okay, we'll give you space.
All right. So the way this game works is you are dealing with the threat of a pissed off dragon, not with how hard it is to make the bridge. So
Yeah.
so the bridge is made. Obviously, it takes a lot of effort and time, but you're able to build it across, or I guess it was a platform you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically so Stein kind of realized, oh yeah, I don't have to make an entire bridge. All I have to do is like manipulate the base of the platform he already made, and they just moved that through the water.
Right.
So everyone's just kind of riding a stone
Yeah,
platform.
it just looks like this,
Water.
and then underwater it looks like just a pillar,
Yeah.
like moving
Yeah.
through the water with us on it.
Yeah, and that's great. So that gets you across. It takes a long time, and by the end of it, you're all exhausted.
But the
you've
entire
left the
time
domain.
Vicky's fretting about how she can make Sobek like her again. Maybe I leave gifts. What do the kids like other than, us eating? Maybe I'll bring some meat. Maybe no, that will look like a trap. I don't want to bribe. But maybe some of the books. Maybe it's a constant stream of talking, which most of you will be used to.
Yeah, that's the cost. That was the cost of the. You can't come back. Well, I mean, you can, but it'll be a situation if you do. You can do whatever you want. I'm just telling you what's
Never
happening.
stopped her before.
It'll be a whole thing, and
We'll just accidentally commit a war crime and the dragon will kill all of us. It's fine.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
The unfortunate news is there's a lot of dragons in Highcaster.
Oh, good.
They're descended from
Awesome.
they're descended from
could
the
piss
space. They
all of
are
them
they're actually magical creatures. There are also worms, which are different. Worms are wyverns, and dragons are dragons.
Yeah.
So we won't get into the biology though.
Aw.
Except that it's really hard to have 4 legs and wings.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Okay, so you make it across. You're exhausted. You're still in the cave, but you know now that Stein. You know now that you can just kind of break out. At this point, you're probably gonna have to chisel somewhere, or well, you have your ability, but you're gonna have to break out because the cave system is ending here. So the next step will just be to kind of carve your way out, which you can do, but it's exhausting. You're going to need a rest at this point.
Yeah, Stein's also going to make sure they put it back the way they found it, so they're not just going to leave a gaping hole in this dragon's cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you rest, and you can rest peacefully here, Sutek is not going to bother you. You can recuperate a harm and also a discipline die.
Hey.
Good.
So I can get back that. I think I used a D8 last session, so I can get that back.
Now,
Yeah,
if you
I'll
want,
get my
harm can also be negated by doing some kind of self-destructive actions, like lashing out. And there's some things you can do if you need to get rid of harm more than just one. But yeah, you just by resting, you get those 2 back.
Sweet.
Unfortunately, it's only 1 though, so you get 1 harm and also 1 discipline die, but you can't fill it all up. It takes more rest.
It's fine.
Well, that was certainly interesting. I'll have to check and see if I remember anything specific about that one day.
Certainly have
So
to.
where are we now?
Oh,
Hey.
should be about 12 miles further than we were. We're going underneath the mountain range instead of up and over it.
Must be more than 12 miles. I mean, it was 10 when we were in the middle of that lake, and we went at least a lot farther than that. Maybe.
Oh, well, yeah,
15,
it's
20?
probably closer to maybe 20, 25 by now. I thought you just meant the ocean thing we crossed, or the lake.
Yeah, I mean, well, and where are, like, how far do we have to, like, where are we compared to where we have to go?
You're not far at this point. You just need to break out of the
Oh,
mountain
okay.
range.
Cool.
All right.
So you've rested. It's morning. It might not be. You don't know. It's dark. And Stein, I assume you're just going to kind of make your tunnel through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have it close up behind us. When we break out the other side, he'll close through it. They'll close through it.
This is like Minecraft, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
moving blocks of rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, you break out, and you kind of had this idea that this might happen anyway, but when you kind of break out of the mountainside, you're looking over a canyon wall. So there is a massive river canyon ahead of you, and you are several hundred feet up above it. There is a bridge, and you know about this bridge. It's the rope bridge crosses this canyon, and so you kind of know where you are. But that bridge is like 100 feet up over there, so you're kind of like in a bad spot. You're sort of at that point in Temple of Doom where you kind of broke out, and now you're like, oh, there's no way up or around. And good thing you didn't fall off the wall, but it is sort of a challenging spot you're in. This is called the God Teeth Canyon, and it's really treacherous because it's just a bunch of pointy spikes everywhere. It's a really, really rocky canyon. It's been created over the centuries because of flooding, and so it's very irregular. It's very deep and very rocky, slippery because it gets rained on all the time. So, but that's where you are, in this nice, easy spot. Also, this region, Stein, you would know this too, is home to these sort of monstrous vultures that love to take prey off of the bridge. That's kind of why they're there. They're called rotbeaks. They're horrible, nasty, ugly, diseased monstrosities. And they're always around. They're just waiting for somebody to cross the bridge.
Becky, I would not fly out there just yet. There are rot beaks. They will attack you if you go flying out there.
Oh. I don't think I've ever been this far out in this direction.
It's pretty dangerous. Everyone should really watch their footing, their huffing.
Well, how are we gonna? The bridge is up there. The canyon bottom's down there. How are we gonna get somewhere stable?
I mean, fair point.
Stable.
No, go ahead.
Making a pun.
He's a
That's stable. I'm a horse. But never mind.
stable.
That's out of character. In character, Stein just is like.
I mean, Vicky can just fly, which is great. None of the rest of us can.
I would never leave you alone just because you're puny little non-flying mortals.
And I probably could tunnel up. It's starting to get kind of tiring now.
Magic. I could probably make myself fly with magic. Not sure if I can make multiple people fly with magic, though. That probably hurt a lot. We could try, though. That's the point of this. We can try.
There's a threat on the board called Canyon in the Way.
Yeah.
So our options are: we try to get to the other side of the canyon, we try to get up from where we are to the top of the canyon, or we try to get to the bottom of the canyon.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the three options we have.
Dangerous.
Yeah, I think we're better off just trying to get across.
The bridge would be the best bet. We get attacked by rot beaks, but we can fend them off. It'd be better to have the bridge and fend them off than try to make a bridge and fend them off.
You're probably right. Yeah.
So how do we get up there? That's the question.
I mean, I can try tunneling again, but it will be tiring. Been
You know
doing
what?
this all
Sure.
day.
Let's take risk. Lanaton's just going to start pressing runes on his compass and will attempt to try and make those of us who can't fly magically fly, and we'll just see what happens.
All right. Awesome.
So the three of us.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
is
nice.
Two of
And
whom
this-
are massive and heavy.
it's
Could
fine.
Could you make me really big and powerful like the dragon?
Oh,
And I can carry you up so you don't have to focus on like
That might be an
several
easier.
people at once. But
That-
I'm gonna be big.
That could be
Really,
easier.
That
really
sounds-
big.
that
Maybe you could just fly us across.
that sounds more fun.
Yeah, do that.
Let's
That
try
sounds
and
like
make
a better idea.
let's just try and make Vicky real big.
Yeah, because
What
then the
could go
rock
wrong?
peaks might not
Oh.
get at her too if she's real big.
I shrink them to the size of a pea while I'm trying to make them big. It's fine. Yeah. This is a good question.
This is an ally roll.
Yeah.
So you're rolling virtue.
Oh, good. That's
I-
a whole D4 for me.
It's against the Canyon is in the Way threat.
Yep.
You're also, are you using a discipline?
Yeah. I think the one that probably makes the
You could
most-
argue. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you could argue against virtue. The reason I chose ally is because you're generating goodwill or establishing trust, as your intent is to help the others, right?
No, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd argue maybe Sage is the one that kind of makes the most sense. This is just using a tone to perform a ritual for a magical effect that harms or protects from harm.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're protecting people from falling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
would my talent of Magister come into play here too, or no?
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
this isn't really. Well, this isn't really my knowledge of the magical arts.
oh yeah, you're right. I was thinking of something
Okay,
different. Yeah, so
I'll
I
just
guess that would be it.
do. I'll just do a D8 for my Sage then.
If you really want to, you can spend a favor to add a d6 to the pool.
Ooh, that's also
That's always an option.
actually. What did I? Hold on, I'm looking at my.
They don't carry over from session to session, so you only have one.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Actually, let's try and use my feet here for my one per session thing.
You picked a feat.
Yeah. I took Resolute, so I can just automatically succeed a die roll once per session.
All right.
Yeah.
So you don't need a
Yeah.
roll. Okay. Cool. That's our first use of feats. Well, the feats were created yesterday, so in our defense. All right. So it happens exactly like you want. The owl is now how big?
Probably whatever would be suitable to carry the three of us. So that's probably about the size of like ooh. You know like the
building.
giant I'm thinking like almost close to like the giant eagle from the Hobbit movies that they rode on.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that.
How does that make Vicky feel?
Oh no.
Yes, she completely does this only to help her friends and for no other reason. That is in any way, shape, or form a power trip, an ego trip. Because she just saw a dragon, it was huge, and that was the biggest thing she's ever seen, and she wants to be like that now.
Yeah, and you feel it. That's good. So there are rot beaks, and normally these would be terrifying creatures. They're kind of like vultures, but if vultures and a pteranodon were merged, and they have this sort of dusky, rotty kind of skin. They also stink. They're carrions and they're horrible, but they are terrified of the giant owl. So they are not.
Yes.
And you can see them perched. They're like, "Yay, lunch!" And then they're like, "Oh, we're lunch," and they're kind of like skirting back. And so you fly over the God Teeth, and it's a really impressive canyon. It's a terrifying canyon. I mean, it's almost like there are rock spears all over the bottom. I mean, it's not pleasant. Probably not even photogenic. It's just like terrifying looking. But you're flying all over it, so you're good. The effect is really hard. So you'll have to like at some point like okay, we have to land because otherwise you'll.
Yeah, like I guess this would be for Stein and Midnight Star. You can tell that while they're holding the spell, Lanaton is in like very visible pain. But
can you describe more of why it's straining, or what's the strain like, and why?
It's kind of like it doesn't necessarily drain him. It's just from the way that he got his magical powers. It's essentially kind of like he has almost like permanent nerve damage, almost. So anytime he uses magic, it just causes him a ton of pain. And when he has to hold it as long as he does with this effect, it's not a fun time.
So you have to convince Vicky to land, probably.
And as soon as we're across, he's like, "Okay, Vicky, you can land." Vicky.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Land. Oh, she does a drop though. Like she makes it.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
And there's not even like warning. As soon as they land, spell drops.
No.
But is she still acting big, not realizing at first?
And we're all just looking at her.
Oh. Ow.
That was the best thing ever.
You're
I
welcome.
did enjoy that.
And Midnight Star just shaking like, "Nah, I did not."
It was fun, but not necessarily.
So when can we do that again, Lanaton? Like tomorrow? Like in like 10 minutes? How do you?
Not 10 minutes. And you see almost kind of like the veins that run along his arms sort of look like they're bordering on bursting. He's like, it's gonna be a while. Maybe tomorrow.
Pokes the vein.
Ow, no.
Doesn't look healthy. What's that?
That's just what happens when I do what I just did.
I think the doctors
Oh.
call that hypertension.
Yeah, take hypertension, put it on steroids, and that's what happens when I use magic.
Why?
You know, I wish I knew.
Is that just you or is that everyone?
As far as Laniton's aware, it's just him, I think.
Because that's the first time I hear of that.
Yeah,
Well-
that's something that we can establish as a truth if you pay for it. Otherwise, I'll tell you.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's use a favor to establish that as the truth.
That it's just you.
Yeah.
Wait, you are always in pain when you cast magic. You've always been hiding it.
Yeah. Use as long as I have you. Find ways to hide it well sometimes.
You know that's stupid, right? Like, you don't have to hide that stuff here. We need to know when you're in pain.
I'll get not used to people worrying.
Don't want you pushing yourself and getting hurt.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
make you
no.
like in pain for the flying thing and
No, it's
'cause I
fine.
really enjoyed it. Do you want a
It's so-
hug?
Laniton looks confused that you're asking, but does eventually just sort of give like a nod. He tries to
Wait.
nod so slightly that the others don't see it, but and just hugs Vicky back and with their permission, sort of just if he does sort of like pats her on the head.
Oh yeah, she likes scritchies. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Are you okay to walk?
No, I can walk, just
I
Not
can carry
necessarily.
you if you need rest.
You can
I-
ride.
I appreciate it, but
That
I
doesn't
can-
happen often. They don't offer that often. Do it.
I
Yeah, nobody
appreciate
gets
it,
to
but
ride.
I can walk. It's just not comfortable, and he'll sort of just continue.
Stein just picks them up.
Nope. Put me
Okay.
down.
Puts them down.
Can I ride?
You know, it's kind of still treacherous to walk through the forest and the places around here. I want to make sure your footing is not going to cause you to stumble and fall into or onto something.
Just stop complaining, Laniton. Let us help you.
Like the highway that
we-
used to be here that we're taking to get to that town
Either
isn't here
let's-
anymore. Like we
Yeah.
can't walk on that.
When we
Either
get
let
to,
Sign carry you or you can ride.
are we still a ways off from the forest, out of character? Okay. But I guess I'm saying, are we close to a tree line at the moment? Because I know we're by like a canyon. So. Oh, okay, got it. Cool. Okay. And it's just like he's stubborn for a bit and is trying to get through it on his own. He's just eventually like, all right, fuck it. And we'll climb onto Midnight Star's back.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Have you met Spence?
I gotta, man. Like, yeah, it's cool to succeed automatically, but like, yeah, that kind of magic's gonna take a lot out of him. So
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, so Midnight Star will just start, plotting with Laniton on his back.
I guess, man, Midnight Star doesn't have like a saddle or anything, do they?
No.
Isn't it
So
just
I guess-
armor?
Yeah, it's just, oh god, that's gonna be uncomfortable.
That's
It's
gonna
fine.
chase.
Yeah. and since I guess I don't really have like some sort of like whatever that thing is on the saddle.
He's wearing like stuff like a but it's like decorative. So
yeah.
it wouldn't be like reins, but it would be like a like a head holster and
Okay.
like a head halter
Cool.
and stuff like that. And he has like saddlebags and stuff.
All right, and we'll just, I guess, grab onto something. But it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
You humans are so stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
At least you.
Oh, you haven't met enough humans if you think it's just me.
No, you're
Well-
really bad. Like, for one of them. No, I'm gonna be nice.
No, you're allowed to say what you want.
How long have we been traveling and knowing each other? And this is the first time you say that? Or tell us that?
Like I said, got used to it, didn't want to hold anybody else behind.
But what if, in battle it's too much strain and we need to watch your back for things like that, and we don't know, so we don't watch your back because we don't know, and we all die.
Well,
You'll
gotta
be
help each
guilt
other
tripping
out.
here. If I die, you'll be feeling so guilty.
I'll be upset.
I at least know
I'm
when to
straight.
ask for help. I just didn't use magic enough to cause this big of a strain. Ah, shit.
Well, between helping me in the cave and doing your magic with Vicky, that was a lot more than we've seen you usually do. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You live in a
I mean,
village.
it made me tired.
Well, you live in a village where not a lot of combat happens, or when you need to do bigger things, it just gets used to it.
Want me to find you some rocks you can throw at things that attack us?
I can make them pointy.
Mm-hmm.
At least I can still use magic to at least fling those, so if you find some, fine.
Stein just reaches down, grabs like a handful of dirt, and pulls out like a long, like a couple foot long, like spear of stone, and just hands it over towards it.
Probably super heavy.
I like to imagine that's just like a random hidden stockpile that Stein just had.
No,
Like,
he
how did
pulled
you-
it out of the ground. He just pulled it out of the ground.
Yeah, I know, it's somehow like perfectly like a spear, and he's like, oh, okay.
Midnight Star's like, I can show you how to use that.
I mean, I have magic. I can use magic to just.
I mean, I've made some that Midnight Stars used before. I mean, that last time we had to deal with those bandits. What was it, about 6 months ago? I had to make a couple spares. I was just pulling them out of the ground, and he was flinging them at the bad guys. Like, that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yay, bonding experience.
All right, let's get through this forest safely.
So did Laniton take the spear?
Oh
or
yeah,
no?
he took it. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're plodding through the forest.
Yeah.
The series of shots of kind of like showing the world as the heroes are going through. It's really wild out here. There's not anything that would remotely be called civilization. Occasionally, you'll come by an ancient ruin from the days of the Highcaster Empire, more than 500 years old, overgrown, falling apart. They're now habitats for some of the forest creatures. And it goes on like this. It's sort of like the farthest out that you typically go.
Mm-hmm.
And the terrain is changing. It's becoming flatter, and the trees are changing. They're not as broadleaf anymore. Some of them are more just, your normal maples and those kinds of deciduous trees, and lowlands. After a couple of days of this, and since it's been a couple of days, you can all have your disciplines back.
Cool.
You get to what your society calls the marches, which is, these are the borders between Rishon, Hydoni, and the Stairborn. And the Hydoni are kind of like off to one side, the Rishon are off to another side, and sort of like this three-part empire all meeting in this corner. And that's sort of where you are. And it's typically sort of no man's land. I mean, they don't really, nobody it takes claim over this particular area. That's why they call it the marches. But this is sort of, nobody really goes this far. The Rishon do because they have stuff to sell, but nobody else really does. So if you go, if you continue, right now you've been heading, let's say you've been heading east. If you continue to go east, you'll run into the Rishon. And if you go left or you go north, you'll end up in the Hydoni.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where you are, and you arrive at this area, and it's like the forest sort of just ends after a while, and it's now in this sort of lowland plains with rolling hills, very scenic. You have your occasional oak that tops a hilltop, and sort of place that you would find wolves probably. And there is a road that. I suppose Dine is the only one that goes this way ever, but there is a road that if you keep going towards the Rishon, you'll come into the road. So I'm assuming that's probably where you're heading, just to get some bearing. But
yeah.
As night
I
falls,
think,
yeah, that's where you are. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Stein would be going to the road for reference, and then from there trying to align to where, like, the ruins of the town that they remembered where these spirits could be coming from.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I hope I wrote the name of that town down. All right. Well, it was recorded, so I can look it up later. Anyway.
It was. Didn't I say it was Silvervale? I think you let me name
Yes, that
it.
was it.
Thank you.
Silvervale.
Or something.
Silvervale,
Yeah,
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So, so that Silvervale would be in the foothills of these mountains, assuming because of the vale in the name. Probably nearby a mine. Maybe they did that kind of work. So so you'll go to the road to find your bearings and then kind of locate that city. Is that the idea?
Mm-hmm.
Or the ruins of that
Yes,
city?
yeah.
So
I
you
assume
make-
whatever the old highways that used to be around are long, long, long gone. So these are more recent roads that we're traveling on.
Well, this road is one of the Hydoni Empire roads, and they, not what they were hundreds of years ago, but they've definitely been kept up by the Rishon. So they use them as trade routes, and yeah, there are new ones, but not to the scale of this road. This is one of the Empire's roads.
Oh, okay.
And there aren't many of those around here. That's just one road that happens to be here that is transcontinental, probably. It goes on indefinitely. But the Rishon use it to skirt the Hydoni and get into Stairborn. But if they were to continue the road, they would be in completely different lands. Remember, you're moving away from the ocean, so you're kind of going into the interior of the continent at this point. Which is a good thing, because we don't have to deal with the seabirds. I just derailed myself. All right, so sun is going down. Kind of a scenic, idyllic little area, rolling hills. And just as the sun gets past the horizon, there is the sound of a war trumpet that fills the landscape. And the size of this war horn has got to be, one of those things that they put on towers and strongholds. It is a huge booming noise, just fills the landscape.
This is good.
Where's it coming from? I mean, can we tell where the horn would be?
Yeah, I suppose it would be coming from deeper in the direction that you were going, to the east.
Okay.
Do we know if there are any like Rishan watchtowers or anything like that around?
They don't usually have those. I mean, close to
Yeah.
Richfin where they are, they do, but no, they're transitory. Any watchtowers would be from ruins from the old empire.
Any like fortresses or any towns other than Silvervale around?
Silvervale's
or
a
anywhere else?
ruin, and you don't know of any towns nearby.
So where's the horn coming from?
Yeah. I feel like if we go towards it, though, that's bad news.
It's in the direction that we need to go in.
Yeah.
Somebody might need help, or they might be an obstacle. I mean, this is out of character. This is the area that the spirits have been harassing the caravans, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So Stein says this is the area that we are supposed to be looking for the spirits that have been harassing the caravans. Could be those.
Well, I think we should head toward it.
Yeah, it could be the remnants of one of the old watchtower ruins. It could be the spirits. It could be some strange magic involved with what's going on. I think we have to check it out regardless.
All right. Let's go.
What were you saying, Vicky?
I could fly and, just see what happens before we go in.
Well, we'll head that way and you can go ahead of us. We'll start going that way and you can fly ahead of us
Okay.
as like a scout.
Okay, so you're going through. I mean, it's easy terrain, so you can move pretty quickly. You have been traveling all day, so you can only do this for so long. But you're heading out east. Vicky, when you go, you see that a low-lying fog has taken over the whole landscape. So it's very difficult to see beyond an occasional tree that breaks out of the fog what's going on down there. But with I think even from your height, given that you're an owl, you can hear the sounds of hundreds, maybe thousands of horses and people in armor in that mist. The mist stretches for miles.
She will try and land in one of the trees to get some cover. And then use the branches to hop a little bit further down into the mist to get a closer look at what kind of army, as it seems like, we're dealing with.
Yeah, there's definitely a battle going on. You can't see very clearly because of the mist, but there are shadows of people with large swords and armor, hundreds of them. This might be one of these you've heard legends of these war bands of Hydoni that will come around and the lords fight each other. Something on that scale, but with the mist, you really can't tell beyond that what's going on.
No insignia or coats of arms.
There are banners, but the banners are in a language you don't understand. But some of them are written, some of them are, your typical coat of arms. But they're not anything recognizable. This is, the Hydoni lords around here and what their insignias are. You've never seen these before.
And no person half dying somewhere in the ditch away from the main.
Well, you're still at a distance. You want to go in closer?
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, as you are trekking towards, you see this fog coming up to you guys, and the sounds of battle are starting to explode into the night. So you're getting close enough you can see kind of what's going on too. But anyway, back inside the battle, you get in closer and you see that these are not people. They are spirits long past reenacting this battle in force, and they are completely oblivious to your presence.
That's so cool. Oh. Completely oblivious to my presence. Spirits. How her responsibility speaking gonna be about this? No, I think after the scare concerning Lantern, she'll be somewhat smarter about things and not just see if they can, see if the spirits can actually see her by flying through them. That would be stupid. And she's not gonna do this because she's gonna get in trouble if they find out. So, she'll fly back towards the group and report.
This seems magical.
Spirits.
Obviously, the spirit's causing. Okay, so some sort of battle happened here.
It must be really old, like really old, because I have absolutely no idea what the language was they were speaking and the banner things. Never.
I'd be concerned about the large number of people battling. It sounds like two. I don't know if many groups have an army that large anymore.
Well, the good news is they're already dead.
Did they see you?
That's the good news.
I did not find out because that would have been a silly thing to do on my own and without you guys there to help. She's very proud of herself. Yes.
Are you telling the truth?
She hesitates for a moment, tries to figure, did I lie some? I am telling the truth.
So out of...
You're really hard to read sometimes, you know that?
So...
No?
We need to... So, Vicky, you know about spirits and stuff. What would we need to do to start figuring out why these spirits are here reenacting this battle?
Well, I've never heard about spirits and large numbers like this because normally it's one thing that drives them and one huge issue they have, and when you solve it for them they move on.
It could be the same here, just because there's a lot of them. If they were fighting,
Vicky, did you recognize any of the banners? You said you didn't. Or crests. Stein is going to reach into their bag and they pull out a medallion, probably about that big, has a loop on it that, maybe something used to be tied through it. The loop is broken. There's nothing, like it used to be around somebody's neck or that kind of thing. Very worn, very spotted. And he holds it out to Vicky, and on one side of it, it has an anvil with the sword crossed, surrounded by laurels, and on the top and the bottom, it says Silvervale Smithing Society. And then they flip it over, and on the back is the crest of Silvervale, or whatever the local, the city's crest, I guess, or whatever the local ruling family's crest of Silvervale would be. This is Stein's most important belonging, is this very, 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 very old medallion.
Shiny.
Did any of the banners look like this one? This crest?
Do you want to spend a favor and make it true, or do you want me to answer that?
I'll let you answer that.
No, it does not. There is no, you didn't see a banner that matched that.
Stein, could you perhaps go back in your memory if she describes what maybe these banners look like? If you've seen them before?
Would you be able to draw them?
I think she would, given how that's her thing.
Yeah, heraldry is something second nature for her, right?
Yeah.
I can try. It'll take some time, but sure.
Takes one of her notebooks.
Well, that'll
out
give us a
and
chance to rest up anyway. For
flies
marching.
back. Yeah.
Okay, so Vicky, I keep on wanting to call you Big B. I'm going to stop doing that. Vicky
Begbie.
wants to
Very different character.
go ahead. You draw the banners as you recall them. Give them to Stein. So Stein, you're going to go into the databanks to see if you have any relation to it.
Yes. So Stein is going to start at the only time that they spent here in this area for any long amount of time. And that would be back through their memories of the time they spent specifically in Silvervale before it was destroyed. Avoiding anything having to do with any of the major people that they met or knew in Silvervale. That's kind of tough to do. So Stein starts there and goes through their memories to see if they know any of the banners, if those are banners of other lords, any of the other tiers, or however Hydoni society and families and royalty and nobility are stacked upon each other through fealty and things like that, to see if any of them are specifically rivals. Maybe somebody was attacking a lord that ruled over Silvervale for the silver mines, that kind of thing. Like kind of looking at the obvious of what the more obvious conflicts could be over.
So can you tell me what has been established in terms of your time there as truth?
So the truth would be that Stein spent about 2.5 decades in the area around Silvervale. Mostly as kind of, this was back in their days when they would do a lot of like diplomatic work between merchants and between any of the minor lords and nobles in the area, helping settle disputes and things like that as a third party, which there were a lot of, considering farmland and mines and all that kind of stuff and resources. They had a couple personal relationships, one with somebody that was part of the smithing society. That's where they got their medallion from. So in the 2.5 decades they were there, they would probably have extensive knowledge of the local political landscape.
Yeah, the banner that you saw, or that she saw, matched a well, for lack of a better word, it was a militant cult called the Knights of the Ascended Hound, and their primary purpose was to overthrow the god of death and replace him with their god. They were one of the reasons that Silvervale was wiped out. The other thing that you find in your memory banks was that the Silvervale protected a powerful relic in their minds. And that's what the cult was after. And so I think the session ends with Stein's reaction to this. As it comes out.
A question I ask for you is, was Stein there for the destruction of Silvervale?
Definitely.
Okay.
But you didn't access that. You saw that the data was there, but you didn't open it.
Yeah, so Stein kind of has that feeling. They dodged around a lot of the more painful memories. But still knowing what they know, Stein comes out of the trance and kind of takes like a kind of shudders as if they're stuttering breath, even though they don't breathe, and like stumbles a little bit, and just has a very upset, very angry, and kind of anguished look as they come out of that trance of just being a perfect statue.
Stein, what's up?
The banner that Bicky saw was part of the cult that destroyed Silvervale.
Hmm.
We're gonna have a lot to talk about here in a minute. Just give me some time.
Of course.
All right, and we'll close there, I think.
Neat.
Good time to stop and think and reassess. All right, well, this has been Highcaster. I am Chris, and I want to go around and do your final introductions. Or they're not introductions anymore. What are they?
Outros or whatever.
Outros.
Goodbyes.
Goodbyes. Just okay. So Lydia.
Hi. I'm always liking it when you see that moment in a game where you're like, ooh, things are getting real. And to be fair, a huge dragon is pretty real. But as soon as it gets into politics, into armies, dead or alive, yeah, that's a nice little scale. So I'm looking forward to next week. Other than that, I am Lydia, or Half Hour's Tarmage on most internet platforms. I am fully employed now, so I have to return to my time zone most days. You won't really see me much in online games, except for tonight at 7 p.m. EST over on Colin Omicon's channel in a Thirsty Sword Lesbians game. So
Oh,
that
I
should
love
be
that
fun.
game.
Ooh, there's
Yeah.
Might see another familiar face here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm talking about Rex.
Yes.
Speaking of Rex, what's your goodbye?
Yes, I really enjoyed this session a lot, getting to see more about how Bicky handles things, learning more about Laniton, and Midnight Star. Also, Stein, going back into the memories and accessing those is really interesting, especially if they hold a lot of emotional baggage. So that was really fun. I am JT Rex 2249 on most socials, and I will be in the same game at 7 p.m. CST on Colonomicon's channel for a round of Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I will be playing a Duchess. So
Nice. Spencer?
Yeah. I am Spencer at Spencer DVA on Twitter, Discord, etc. I don't really have anything else stream-wise going on other than this. So I'll talk about off-stream stuff that I'm really excited for, which is this coming Saturday. I'm running masks for the first time
Oh.
for some really cool
Yes.
for some really cool folks. I've stolen a lot of Colin's, aka Colonomicon's cast from Black Void for that game, and I'm super excited to run it. And then next Sunday, Rex and I will have a session 0 for an Urban Shadows campaign that we're playing in. That's being run by the lovely Cat, aka Cleric of Court, and we're super excited.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, Danny and I have a mass game coming up
Yeah.
next week.
We do. I have a very delinquent boy in that game. Very delinquent boy. I'm Danny. I'm Danielle Delisle on Twitter, and Danny, she, her, and Discord. So some variation of those. I am working on, if you want to find out the stuff I'm working on, You can check out my website, danielledial.com. I work on RPGs. I have stuff coming up in July I'm very excited about. I'm going to be doing, I don't know when that's going to come, maybe next year, but some voice acting. And I've got a Star Trek Adventures game that I'm going to be in streaming in July. So I'm excited about that on the Quiet Gentleman channel. And that will be awesome. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining today. We have, I can't remember what we agreed to. At least one more session.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we?
Yeah.
Who am I? Who are you nice people? Anyway, we will be back the week after next. And if you want to know more about Highcaster, follow me at Gray Author on Twitter. I'm also spilling the beans on Facebook. And that's Gray with an E, the proper spelling. And I think that's it for now. We will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.